Hey guys, this is Observer, and I'm in space, apparently. There is surprises to this game. We're playing Wildstar. It's going to be a quick little review here. And I'm surprised. It's not at all what I had expected. Alright, let's talk. So what can we say about Wildstar? Oh, it looks fun. Alright, don't get me wrong, I'm not sold on this game. Let me just begin there. But I am also pleasantly surprised, and we'll talk a little bit about those things. I will say, let me give you a little bit of a story while walking around here and doing insignificant stuff, like killing this bear thing, and I don't have enough sight point. There we go, right button. There we go. So coming into Wildstar this time, I had actually played it in earlier beta weekends, and I wasn't too impressed. I had my expectations set quite low, on the level of TSO kind of low. We've been playing a bit. We've been streaming for a while this weekend, which is now a later beta weekend. Things are a bit more polished, actually a lot more polished. In fact, it's a very polished game for a beta. I will give them that. Now, so I didn't have very high expectations going into this, and I've sort of changed my mind a little bit, not entirely. How to best explain this? All right, let's look at the bad things, right? Like the things I don't like, a few of them. The few things I don't like is, first of all, the starting zone, and that was probably a big part in me not liking it initially, is that the starting zone is horrific. It's terrible. It's cramped. All you do is run around and talk to people forever, it feels like, especially when you don't know how the game works. Compare that to other newer MMOs, where you are thrown right into the action. You get to do stuff immediately, while as here, you're basically just being dragged through boring text tutorial and walking quests for ages. Like, it's faster when you've done it 5 or 6 times before, which you will have to since starting new characters. But I hope they change that. I really hope they just throw you into the action, because I don't have the patience for it. It is terrible. Right, so the other thing I don't like is all the ranged classes. I haven't played on very long. I'm playing one now. This is like I guess the closest you can get to a mage, if you can call it that. And the thing I don't like about it is, like, you have to stand still and do things. Now, that's not new in terms of MMOs, but then again, like, when you're used to action combat, which has been more and more normal, I'm sure that these range classes has some skills where you don't have to stand around, but just generally the gameplay bores me, and this seems to be the case for all but 2 classes that are melee. Let's take a look at those. So you saw my warrior briefly before. This here is my stalker, more of a rogue type, whose special ability is stealth, you guessed it. And he does a lot of damage, and he can move while doing damage, and that really helps a lot. He does ridiculous damage compared to all of the other classes I've played, so really it's a lot of fun. Obviously I attacked kind of a nasty mob now. Let's zoom out a bit so we can see what we're doing. Like, the whole signaling thing and everything in the combat, it works very well, but you have a lot more action combat in this. Nothing is, you can tab target 2 things, but you don't have to. Like, most skills seems to affect the environment. I haven't really encountered single target spells or skills to any noticeable degree yet. Oh, I'm gonna have some problems there. Oh, no. Oh, I was trying to run away! And I died. Let's try something a little less challenging. My head doesn't work that well during recording. Now remember, by the way, something like you can all of these, all of the testing up until this point, like more extensive gameplay and me experiencing it together with my friends as a stream. You can find all that stuff over on my new channel, which is called Observer Streams. So from now on we'll have more like review style content and guides and such on this, more compact stuff on this channel, and more of the extensive gameplay, raw and edited gameplay on the other channel. Oh, let's... Yeah. So this guy, once, like I in previous betas too, I tried a couple of other classes. All of them is some kind of ranged, with the exception of this guy and the warrior, and it bored me. I didn't like the combat; it felt static. While as with these melee classes, you have more action combat. You can be on the move all the time. It feels great. It's actually fun combat with the melee classes. Don't like the ranged ones. Might be a personal preference, but I feel like they could still make it more active combat for the ranged ones. It looks beautiful. I really enjoyed this graphical style. I know a lot of people don't. I always feel like the slightly exaggerated and comic book style works better for character models and for the MMO. It makes me feel good playing it. It's really nice. Water is beautiful. There's actually a current in the water, so it's like, as I'm being taken by the water. It's hard to swim against stream. It's very fast to swim with the stream. They have a lot of functions like this. Don't get me wrong, like as much as I can't fully approve of this game, they have a lot of functions that are also new and very cool. Like you can find all of these like buffs everywhere in the terrain. You can find holes that you can climb down into. The different path systems, which is like a secondary class you have almost, that doesn't really affect your class but gives you other things. I'm a soldier path. You can have explorer path. You can have all the time. We can talk about that. There's a lot of systems and functions in this game. It's borderline next gen in that regard. They have added a lot of things, but it's still the World of Warcraft formula, but it's very polished. So it will absolutely appeal to anyone that likes the World of Warcraft formula. It's still a theme park. It was marketed as like a sandbox theme park mix, but I can't see it being that. However, I will say that it has enough new stuff added to that formula to where it's interesting to play. So I'm at a bit of a, I don't know, like I don't actually know whether I will be playing it or not. The reason I don't know is the payment model, really. If it was free to play, I would probably I would do a max level in this just to see everything. Like I've done with many theme park MMOs before. This is by far the best of those that I can remember having seen for a long time. It has a lot of interesting ideas. It has a lot of new systems. Like you get these quest items, for example. This happens quite frequently. Now I have to use some quest object that I found to experiment with these monsters. You can see there's a T on them, on all these mobs that are tagged with that, so it's easy to find them and use the T button to use the quest item for that monster. You also have G as one of those keys. And many different kinds. There's a bit too much quests actually for my preference. I would rather there were longer quests with many steps to them, rather than like you have 20 quests at all time. But that's just me. I know a lot of people need those quests. But we'll go have a look at some of the other systems, not to make this too long. It's not really the best review ever, is it? But it's how we do. I'm just expressing my feelings on this game so far, which is basically, I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure if I will be buying it. It's not really my kind of game in the term that it's not a sandbox per se, but it has added a lot of systems to the theme park genre that is enough that I'm interested to try it. And one of those things that makes me interested is the housing system, which is a separate video that I have recorded. It's not awesome, but it's better than what I've seen in the past. Another thing is the crafting system, and we'll take a look at that now. And you know, I'm a big fan of like the very complex crafting systems, and we haven't seen many of those. It's usually different variations of the same thing. I haven't tried it much, but I have reached a level where I can do it. And so I'm an outfitter. That's what I've chosen. Now, if I wanted to make something here, and obviously I only have the very small things, we go in and choose like medium, armor medium, and hands, and I have some stuff for that. And now this is how far you would get in a normal crafting system. Like in most MMOs, you find the recipe, you have all the stuff you need, and then click craft, and you craft it. Let's see if I have stuff so I can. I actually don't have it. Let me try my other character. I haven't got enough money for a mount yet, but I would like one like this. Taking a taxi. Not mine. So a lot of the systems in the game is, and we'll get back to the crafting in a second, a lot of the systems in the game is, you know, the same old formula. But as I said, they've added a lot of new stuff to it too, and it looks good. It's good to the point. I've said this before. It's to the point where, and I'm just talking out loud now because I'm like unsure myself really. It's enough to get me interested, but I'm not sure if it's enough that I can recommend it. At least if you're not like a hardcore sandbox person. Let's have a look at this crafting. Come on, there we go. So if I'm a weaponsmith, I want to make myself a new greatsword. I haven't done it before. Let's see if there's anything here that I have the resources for. Low viscosity flux. I don't know how to get those. Hold on. I might need to salvage something. Maybe. Like this piece here. Ah, okay, there's a bot here. Let's see, we needed low viscosity flux. There we are. Get one of those. Purchase. That's probably what I could have done with the other guy too. Now, let's see if I have, and I have the iron because I'm a miner too, so they go together. Like the types of crafting professions that you have, is pretty much what you'd expect. So let's load that up, not the claws, the great sword. Let's see what we can make with it. So this is pretty much what you would do in a normal crafting system, right? Now I won't say that this is fantastic, but it gets closer to any sort of complexity to the crafting system than other games. Let's see. So we go into this window. Now we can start crafting, and we now see I can add a chip. Let's see, this quartz power core or weak quartz power core. Obviously I'm going to use a better one, which has some sort of better properties. Remember, I haven't used much of it, so that gives me more power in it, apparently. Now we can add a chip. I've already used, this is the brutality stat on it already. I can add a chip with different properties, so finesse or moxie or grit or insight or tech, which is all kind of stats that you have in the game. These will add better. I don't seem to have one of these left, so I'll go with finesse. That adds to the power here what is required. Now I can up the amount of that to a certain degree. Now this is what I have total. I can go a bit higher. I can go to 20. Now it has a 9% fail chance, and I can increase it even further. There's a 100% chance to fail. So the amount you can add to it depends on the quality of the material that you put into it. This is interesting. So it's not like a set static item that you go with. Let's see if this fails or not. There we go. And it worked. I'm pretty sure it's worse than what I have, but then again I haven't been crafting much. I don't have the weaponsmith XP that I need for this to make any better than what I've found in the world. This is only my second crafted item on this character. So that's interesting. It's still not super complicated, and the resource gathering is absolutely not complicated. The resource gathering is just go around, mine stuff, and gather like basic materials by spawned nodes in the world. So that's what you're used to. The cooking, which is a separate crafting skill, is sort of in the same way. We can try to cook something. I only ever tried one of those two, but let's go to cooking, meat, tough jerky, and here we have a different system. So here I can, this is the tough jerky, and I can see if I can try to add a little bit sweeteners to it. Some of the stuff that I have, let's see, I should try to land it within these. That doesn't seem to work too well. You can pay to have them work on a different spot apparently. They're hard to, oh, black pepper. I'm gonna add a bit of that, bit of black pepper, more black pepper. And is there anything else I can get within there? How about these? Ah, citrus juice, perfect. All right, let's craft that one. Let's see if that turns out good. Pretty much. I could add a catalyst too, apparently, for bonus effect. That didn't turn out specifically good, but you can experiment with this and make better beef, I guess, and then you can nom it. Let's have a quick look at all the different skills and windows and stuff, what they look like. Here's your character panel. You have different slots, nothing new there. Different names for the same old stat. You have strength and dex and all those kind of things. It's just different names. Works the same way. You can see an overview of them here. You can see set bonuses. Remember that this game will actually have the large raids. I might be wrong, but I think they were saying 40-man raids as well, which is something that has been missing from other games. So that might be cool. It might be terrible. Who knows? Titles, reputation, mounts that you can choose from, and such. Then you have the skills, and obviously I haven't played very far into beta, but how it goes is, and I think we have an animal here that might eat me, so we go away from there. You can choose, it's probably easier to look at this actually. You can choose your way into, and there's a lot of confusing stuff at the beginning of it, 1 out of 3 main directions to go with your character. Like this is a warrior, so I can go assault, support, or utility. Actually, all of the classes has those. And what I'm looking at now is sort of passive bonuses I've filled up in lifesteal and a little bit in strike through, which is like penetration, and a little bit down here, which is in the shield capacity. And we have some PvP oriented ones, and you have a bunch of other things. And you can work your way up here. I don't seem to be able to unlock these higher ones at my current level, or because it's beta maybe. These are just passives that you add in, and they're good passives, and they're categorized. So like here we have assault, here we have support, so these are maybe in the hybrid assault support type category. You have those same categories for the different skills. You have assault, support, and utility, and all of the classes has these to choose from, different skills in there, and you can boost the different skills again. And then you have different ranks of each skill. You can see that this kick, for example, is one of the first skills that you get. And you can see underneath there the tier upgrades. So tier upgrade, next one is +2 damage, plus 0.10 second knockdown duration. Tier 4 is a major upgrade, which is over here, which will give me a cooldown reduction of 18 seconds. Tier 8 is another major upgrade, destroy 2 interrupt armor over here. So there are different things like that. Down here is your current setup. So you can choose to exchange one of these for another. You can just I can remove this, and I can add this one that I've already bought. And they unlock down here. You can buy them as you extend further down. You can unlock different skills using these too. Some of them are unlocked using the AMP points, but most of them are through here. and you build your little setup down here, and you can change them at will. This is a decent system. You have to buy them though, so everyone could be different like that. I'm not sure if you can have more than these 8 skills eventually, because you have these extra bars. I haven't tried. Maybe you get that like closer to level 50 or something, for all I know, or maybe these are just for other items. Who knows? Not me, anyways. Decent selection of skills, and you have your passives over here. And in addition to that, you have path, and path gives you some skills too. For example, my first soldier path skill is back into the fray, which is sort of like a restore your health and stuff type skill when you're out of combat. Bailout, we can use that now. Bailout I have here, and that will take me, while we're in combat, it will take me and my group back to a safe location. So that can be cool. Doesn't work in PvP though. And the last one for the soldier was be a combat supply drop, where I can call in a strike with special weapons. The weapons that we found in those combat supply drops, and this is the soldier stuff I'm talking about now, you can also find them in camps. Somewhere, I thought I saw one here before. Anyways, it's like little chests that spawn in different locations. That is the path stuff, which is like your second class, if you can call it that. It doesn't. I don't really understand how to use those effectively. They don't seem particularly good, but never mind. Other paths like have completely different quests. My quest as a soldier generally consists of finding little spots around in the world where I have to either assassinate someone or hold out, which is basically you stand somewhere and a bunch of mobs come packing at you, and you have to defend the area from them. Other paths are like you have to experiment with things, find things, explore things, and you also get like some of those can call in stations, like buffing stations, sort of like this one here, where you have to walk up to it and you get some sort of a buff. They can call in those on different locations around the world. Find entrances to hidden locations and such. There's a lot to this path stuff. Honestly, in my opinion, the soldier one is the most viable one, but just because it doesn't take a lot of your time, it doesn't take you off your path as much. It's more like just kill stuff and move on, while as the other ones is a lot of traveling around, and the beginning of the game really fed me up with that stuff. I don't want to do that anymore. So let's see some of the other windows. This obviously not something I haven't been trying out, but you can turn PvP on or off. You can join different battlegrounds, rated arenas, dungeons, adventures, war plots, practice grounds, practice arenas. There's a lot to it. I mean, I will say that the game, as much as I'm as a sandbox fanatic, I'm not overly convinced that I will be playing it for a long time or buying it at all. I will say that for the slightly more people that enjoy World of Warcraft, or generally just new MMOs and the sandbox style or no, the theme park style of games, this will be appealing. This would be one of your better options, to the point where I'm probably not sure. I can't say really, because of the payment model. If it was free to play with microtransactions, I would gladly pay some microtransactions in it from time to time and play it. But because it's a buy-in and monthly thing, I don't know, because that payment model doesn't work anymore. I have too much else to do. I want to play it when I want to and not feel obligated to log in because I'm paying constantly. That's my biggest concern. Otherwise, I would probably go for this, and I might still. I don't know. I think it will be too much of me rambling if I go through it more than that, but those are my thoughts on this game so far. It's most definitely a much better game than TSO, in my opinion, just from what I've seen so far. Obviously, I haven't experienced the PvP, and as many people have given me crap for, the PvP in TSO is one of its strong points, and I didn't really try that out there either because I just had a distaste for that game after having played it for 10 or so hours. But we'll see. The starting point here, terrible. Don't let that discourage you. Try it out in one of the open beta weekends, make your own mind up. these are my thoughts on it, and it's better than I thought it was, but it's not a sandbox.